Welcome to World Religions. My name is Dr. Daniel Hoskins, and I will be your instructor for this course. Since we'll be spending this quad together, in a sense, in the virtual world, I would like to begin by giving you a short bibliography to give you my own background. My wife, Lynn, and I have been married for almost 40 years, and we have 4 grown children and 3 grandchildren. We currently reside just outside of Little Rock, Arkansas. I love teaching topics that connect to mission. That's because a big part of my life has been spent involved in mission in one way or another. We spent 12 years as church planners among unreached Muslim people groups in Central Asia, in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. Now, as you may be aware, those countries, it's illegal to be a missionary there, the Muslim countries. And so my official jobs were things like organizing community development projects, conducting ethnographic research, and at one point I taught in a university there. Then in 2009, we were kicked out of Kyrgyzstan for illegal missionary activity, and we returned to the US. When we came back, I shifted into 3 areas of mission involvement, into research, training, and writing. Now, as for my academic background, I have a MA in International Development from William Carey International University out in Pasadena, California, and I have a doctorate in Religious Studies from the University of South Africa. So now back to the course. I hope you're as excited about this semester as I am for this quad. Obviously, from the title, you know we'll be looking at major world religions like Islam and Hinduism. But we'll also dive into the concept of worldview. What is it? How do we have it? How do we know what it is? What is animism? That's another one. And animism is so important because it weaves its way into so many religions, and being aware of that is really important. And then we'll conclude the semester by looking at what I believe is one of the worst challenges missionaries are facing right now, and that is pluralism. That is the bending and blending of religions together and viewing them kind of through a mishmash of acceptance. A lot of great material we're going to cover in these 8 weeks. Now, if you were taking this class, World Religions, in most universities, even in many Christian ones, you would approach the various religions on a relativistic basis. All things, they have relative value and all things are kind of equal. Let me be clear, that is not how we're going to be doing this course. We will approach the various world religions with a great deal of respect, but also with the deeply held belief that those of other world religions are eternally lost without knowing Jesus Christ. If you're not convinced of that, you have no business being involved in Christian mission. Because as much as we might love and respect people in other religions, and I really do, I've made a lot of friends with people in other religions. However, no matter how much that's true, I also know that they are lost without Jesus. And that's a core belief that we have to have. I have a couple more thoughts I want to have before I wrap this video up. I want to keep it real short. This is a welcoming video. A few other points. Since this is a missions course, we will focus on religion as a lived experience rather than a set of doctrines to know. Now, often the first step in learning about a people is to understand the doctrines and ideas of the religion, but the end game is always to understand how people live as they actually live their religion, not as they're supposed to live it under their official rules and doctrines. Number 2, we're going to be covering a lot of ground in these 8 weeks. In fact, we even run through Thanksgiving. So that means you're going to have to learn to budget your time well. You cannot get behind. It will eat you alive. There's just too much material. It's going to be, you're going to have to stay on top of it steady keeping up with your work. But if you do get behind, before you just kind of blow it off or before you panic, talk to me. I'll help you plot a way to get back on track so that you're not losing your way in the course. And that links to the final thing I wanted to say. I'm serious when I tell you I'm available. I have email, I have Zoom, I'm open to phone calls and texts. I will be as present to you as possible considering the fact that this is an online class. No, I'm not going to be available 24/7, but I will be available to you as much as possible. Probably even more so than if we were doing this at a university and you had to come by my office when I happen to be there. Just so do like one student did me a couple years ago in a class. They started texting me at like 4 o'clock in the morning with wanting help with an assignment. That's not going to make me happy. In some ways, I do wish this was a face-to-face classroom. I would much rather be sitting here with you talking about this and really hearing you talk about your God-given dreams for the ministry that you're called to. I would enjoy catching coffee or lunch with you after class, that kind of thing. But I have to remind myself that because it's an online class, it makes it even possible for many of us to be together. Many of us wouldn't be in the same room together. It wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for it being a virtual class online. But I don't want that distance of online learning to get in the way of you having a great learning experience. So please be connected, stay engaged, and I'll look forward to seeing you in lesson 2. I mean, in lesson 1, brother. God bless you.